All right, so it tells me that we are now live in Facebook. So welcome everybody, good evening to episode 3 of Inspired to Thrive. And tonight I've got the beautiful Lee Hancock joining me, empowerment coach, mum extraordinaire, and all of these beautiful things. I'll tell you a little bit more about Lee in a second, but what we're going to be talking about tonight is how to stop the overwhelm cycles of that, rinse, soak, spin, whatever it is for you. So I'd just like to say a little bit of housekeeping to start with. If you're joining us, please say hi. Let us know where you're coming from. Say hi in the chat box. Please keep the comments through. We love interaction. Feel free to ask questions at any time of myself or Lee. Even if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay and let us know, and then tag us again, Lee or myself, in any questions, and we will certainly get back and answer them for you. And I believe, you want to stay tuned. Lee's got some beautiful gifts to give away at the end as well. So that's wonderful. So again, if you're watching the replay or you're joining us live, make sure you look out for those gifts as well. And that'll be a way that you can connect with Lee. So Lee, she's had well, from my understanding and my brief knowing of you, you've had a beautiful, should I say, life of ups and downs, certain things, certain cycles as, life happens to us all, and we ride the waves, so to speak, of the different cycles, health journeys, business journeys, different things. And yet you still get up every single day and inspire and encourage everyone else to live their best lives and to laugh out loud, if you like, and that sort of thing. So I want to just acknowledge you that for Lee, to for the journey that you've had and your own struggles, and yet you still show up every day, and that takes great courage.
Thanks so much for having me. It's an honor to be here to chat to the ladies, and we're all in the spinning cycle of life, aren't we? And business, and life and business, and it's just like crazy.
That's right, and that's why I thought it was a beautiful metaphor to use, the washing machine cycles to talk about what you're going to talk about tonight, is how to, overcome that overwhelm, because I think there's so many business owners, whether we're starting out, whether we've, long in the tooth with it, if you like, or, halfway in between, we all succumb to overwhelm at some degree or another. And I think as we mature and we start to understand different things, it's really how long we stay in it. So I'm looking forward to this session, tonight as we go through. But before we get started, what I'd really like to know is, what do most people misunderstand about your field of work, do you think?
So when you are an empowerment coach, they don't know what you do every day. So they wonder what you're doing, and they have no idea how you can help them. But it's all of the experiences we've had building up to this moment, and every day we're still learning. And we can help them empower people to become their better selves, to do a better business, to just be a better person, but empower them, give them the power. So we give them the tools to get their goals and dreams, and have a happy life, and learn how to overcome that overwhelm. That overwhelm, even happens to me sometimes. I'm like, I've got all this stuff going on, and you kind of need to take a break, push away from the computer, go and take a walk, and reset.
Yes, absolutely. And thanks for sharing that, because it is true, and like I was saying before, it does happen to us all. I don't think anyone's really immune from that. I think it just shows up at different levels and different degrees, within our lives, both personal lives and business lives as well. I think it shows up in different areas. So how do you keep these cycles going? Tell us a little bit about, the metaphor, if you like, of this washing machine and what these cycles are all about.
I like the rinse. So you start your clothes if they're really dirty. You rinse your clothes first, just like you rinse your dishes, before you put them in the dishwasher, although they tell you not to, but we rinse. And the rinse cycle is the most exciting cycle, because that's when you just started. Or you can say every Monday you start your business all over again as if it's brand new. And you get excited and you think, I'm going to make a lot of money. So that's when you're the most motivated, when that rinsing is going on and you're washing off and finding out where you're going to, washing off the grit, but finding your if you want to, I hate saying your why, but what you want at the end of the journey, and what you want along the journey. So the rinse is just rinsing off all the stuff, finding your true path, and then getting excited.
So is that sort of like rinsing off the crud, if you like, all those bits that get stuck on the outside, so you can get to the outcome that you want? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, all that old stuff. So having a job, that's so ingrained in us to have a job, a 9-to-5 job. People don't want you to step outside of that zone. So you need to wash all that stuff away and find your true purpose.
Yeah.
Whatever your true purpose it is might be selling a product, it might be helping other people, it might be going on a journey of learning, So you're just washing all that stuff away.
Yeah. So what are the other cycles about?
So we've got the wash, and so now you're getting into your business, your network, you're networking with people, you're trying to do your social media, but you get overwhelmed because there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's TikTok, which I love, there's Instagram, Facebook, and they're always changing, and there's so much to do, and you get overwhelmed. And then that's when a lot of people, the washing, when you're doing the washing and it suddenly stops, you're in the middle of a rinse and you can't open the door. That's the overwhelm, because you can't move forward. You don't know what to do. So some people give up at that point. They just give up. Some people call the washing machine person to come and fix it. And the washing machine person could be a coach, or they go and do a little course about how to build Facebook, how to build Instagram, how to make posts. They then get help, and it's the washing machine mechanic that helps them move forward and find a way, even if it's just one thing, learning how to do posts, and then the cycle continues. So that's the next cycle, and that's probably the toughest cycle, because if you get stuck, that's when the overwhelm, you get really overwhelmed, and that's when so many people give up. They just give up because it's overwhelming.
Becomes too much.
And I want to tell you all, just put one step, have a break, have a cry, go for a walk, have the day off, watch Netflix, whatever. Come and watch some great inspirational talks. Facebook is full of coaches and people talking. Go and watch something inspirational. Be inspired. And then carry on the next day if you need a break.
That's actually great advice, because sometimes, I think, and certainly when I work with my own clients and things, overwhelm comes up so much. And I always say, let's just step back and break it down. Because I don't know whether you have the same belief, but I believe that overwhelm really creeps in so much when the chunks are too big. So if we break it down into it's like, what's the saying? How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? So rather than having the task as the elephant and thinking, how the heck am I going to get this or do this? Just chop it up and have smaller pieces, and you'll achieve more, and with less, overwhelm. So I don't know whether you have the same understanding or philosophy around it.
Yes, definitely. So when we're teaching people how to build their profile, for instance, it's not go out, you need 1,000 people. You need 1,000, they're going to go, oh, I only know 2 people or something. No, it's you do it slowly. Maybe one person a day, and then build it up to 2, 3, 4. Whatever you're capable of doing and whatever you're comfortable with, because we don't want you to give up.
Yeah.
And then you not only, you do it a bit at a time, but you give them the tools. So that's one of our giveaways. I'm gonna give some PDF with the apps, some of the apps that I use that help me do my business.
Oh, fantastic.
And my posts.
Yeah, wonderful.
Just some of those, but yeah, definitely a bit at a time. You can't look at the end. You definitely can look at the long-term plan, but you got to just do step by step every day.
Yeah. Okay. So is there a particular, are there any more cycles you'd like to discuss first before we move on? Or?
Well, the spin. So once you've been in the excitement, the rinse, and then you're in the wash, and you get past that overwhelm, you call in the mechanic, and now you're kind of starting again. then you get in the spinning, and you're spinning and spinning because you're trying really hard, but you can't get any customers. And you're spinning, you're wondering why they don't want your service, why they don't want your product, and you're just spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. And that's also when you probably want to give up as well, because you're trying so hard. Maybe you're not trying at all, but you're trying, we take it that you're trying hard, and you get in that spinning cycle of wondering why nobody wants my products, why all these other people on Facebook seem to have Mercedes and holidays and bragging about how much they're earning, why aren't I getting any sales? So that's the cycle you've got to get out of, because it's not always true. Facebook is fake news.
Fake book, I call it sometimes. Yeah, I'm with you there.
I sometimes, actually, I haven't done that post yet. I might do it tomorrow following this up. But you can be whoever you want to be on Facebook. And that spinning cycle, you might be judging yourself against comparing with somebody else. And you might be comparing with somebody like me who's been doing business for 43 years, believe it or not, as well as being in a corporate world. But I was in, selling since I was 20. That gives away my age. And you're comparing yourself not with apples, you're comparing yourself with somebody who's done it for a long time. So
I think that I call it comparisonitis. I think that is such an infectious thing, especially within groups of newbies and people. Oh, she's doing that and he's doing that, and I haven't got anything yet, and they sold something I still haven't, and I'm not good enough, and it just spirals into so much overwhelm, but all other things as well, procrastination, the whole lot. Everything seems to jump on board. All of the luggage just gets trapped in one big barrage of comparisonitis.
That is it. And that's when a lot of ladies, and I'll talk of ladies because I have mostly ladies in my MLMs that I've done, they want to cry because they get so depressed when they see other people succeeding like they are, and they're trying really hard, doing everything right, but they're not getting those apparent results that the other person says they're getting. And I often tell the people, block those people for a while, unfriend them. Because if you're watching somebody and you're getting depressed and crying and want to give up, it's not doing you any good.
That's right.
So unfriend those people, and it can be for a short while, and then go back and refriend them and have a look. But you got to feel good about yourself and what you're doing.
Absolutely, and I totally agree, because what we see, or what we see on Facebook, especially, and Instagram's very much photographs and imagery, isn't it? So we're led into this beautiful path of believing, but we're only seeing a snapshot, a literal photograph snapshot of their life at that point in time. And we don't know what else goes on behind the scenes. Nobody does for anyone, And I think we all have our own baggage and, drama and all sorts of things that goes on. So I think that's very sound advice. It's just, put them on mute for 30 days or something like that. And while you rebuild, because I think with confidence, becomes then, it's like an invisible shield to help with the comparisonitis, So it's just making sure you can progress down that path, isn't it?
Yes, and some people, I'm a bit like that. If people are boasting too much, I just can't, I'll probably have to dig deeper into that as my psychologist. But I just don't want to hear it. I'm on my own journey and I want to be successful. I listen to a lot of coaches and I listen to a lot of motivational speaking starting from when I wake up in the morning. And there's so much you can find out there that's positive but not boastful.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
Encouraging but not bringing you down, like making you feel better.
That's right. I think there's a beautiful humbleness with being raw and real and showing vulnerability. I'm a big believer. Vulnerability for me is sexy. I just love it. It brings confidence. It oozes certainty. And although we might not feel it, it's like an inner knowing, and I think that I don't know about you, but I think intuitively, you know when people are being genuine, and not, if you start to listen and trust that gut instinct, it tells you, who to follow, who not to follow. It's
Yeah.
very sort of apparent.
Yeah, and you also need to, when you are making friends on Facebook, just don't friend anybody. You need to friend people who gel with you.
Yeah.
Because if you friend somebody who's totally opposite to your core values or all of that, it's not going to work. And they won't buy from you, and they won't engage with you. They'll just make up a number. And you get to 5,000 really quickly, and then you've got to start removing people. So I'm building still, and I'm careful who I add because I don't want to have to remove anybody. Hopefully I will, but not at the moment. But yeah, definitely you need to be very selective. Don't just do the number. You need the numbers, and I can tell people how to do that, but you got to be selective at the same time. You wouldn't go out to meet somebody for coffee who is totally opposite to you and that you wouldn't normally mix with. So I treat Facebook and Instagram, not so much Instagram, more Facebook, like I would love to go and have a coffee with you and get to know you and chat to you. So Facebook has taken over our social networking because, let's face it, at the moment, a lot of us can't go out and meet people. And after COVID, people don't want to go out. They're quite comfortable on Zooms and doing things. I mean, we need human comfort, but...
yeah, that's right. I mean, you can't beat the human connection, but I think this, certainly speaking for myself, my family's in England, so all I have is Zoom or, WhatsApp at the moment anyway to, establish that connection. So I'm very grateful for the technology that we have access to, for sure, but it doesn't beat a hug. You know what I mean? So, and one day, that will happen again, but we just don't know when. So we make the best of what we have.
Exactly.
There's so many.
Don't forget the hugs. The hugs. I'll come and hug
right.
you.
Absolutely.
My nickname from my ex-husband used to be Hugs.
Hugs. Yeah, that's cool.
The next cycle is dry. I added in dry there. Because dry is once you've got those customers. So say your best friends, because normally your friends will buy from you first. They're friends that trust, like, and know you. Sometimes it's a stranger that you meet that will like you, trust you and go off and buy. So you have success with your customers and you celebrate. So this is the great time where you're jumping around. Yeah, I've got one customer, and then you get two, and then you're like, whoa, I'm on a roll. I'm going to be rich again. So the drying phase is like when you're celebrating. But when you celebrate, you forget you got to keep on working because you've got a couple of customers. Sometimes you sit back and think, well, I've done a good
bit
job.
Complacent.
Yeah, it's all done. I'm going to get rich. No. You've got to start again. So that's the fifth cycle is starting again. Every day we have washing, especially if you've got children or something like that. Every day you've got to start again. And
it's like rinse and repeat, isn't it? All the way around.
Again you go. But once you've had that success and you sit back and relax, this is the cycle of business. You're wondering why your business isn't growing. And you lose motivation because you've done it. You've done all the hard work. You've got those sales, and now you've gone back down and you have to start again. So you start again, and you listen to some good advice, get good coaches, and get some good inspiration. The inspirational people on podcasts and YouTube, you can just find it. Put in motivation, and you'll find somebody you can.
You will gel with, because there's a lot of people out there, and some I don't, personally, can't listen to that voice or something that but you find the ones that you gel with, and then I think you're more receptive then to hearing what they have to say. So is there a particular cycle then that either you get stuck in or you've been stuck in throughout your career, or you observe your clients get stuck in?
I think it's I get stuck in, and it happens regularly with my bricks and mortar business and my 2 MLMs that I'm involved with, kind of, sort of, not really, but I tell them. it's when you are successful and then you sit back, and that's the worst thing you can do, because you've literally got to start again. That's why I say every Monday, treat that as launching your business again. If you make every Monday a launch day, that's the day you post about your business, not hard sales, just like referral posts, drinking your product, putting your lashes on, putting the cream on your face. What else is there? Burning a candle, burning oils, talking about oils. That type of post is called a referral post, and it's less direct.
Yep.
And it's more, people respond to it better. And every Monday, this is what I recommend, because it's easy to remember. Monday's the beginning of the week. Do your business sales on a Monday, and then you start the whole process. But I teach coach ladies and men how to build up their numbers the right way, communicate with people, connect with them, make a community, and you build down to the funnel, and you get to know each other first before there are any sales or anything. And once people know, like, and trust you, they'll buy from you anyway without you even asking.
That's right. Yeah, because I'm a great believer that, it's never about the money. It's always about the perception of the value they're going to receive, So like you say, and I guess there's a couple of points. The first point you mentioned was, when you get to a certain level of success, you perhaps sit back. And I agree with that, because if you do that, you lose the momentum that you've built, And so I think that momentum and movement that's being created is so important. And I've done this myself, walked away and had a couple of weeks off and come back and thought, where's everybody gone?
Yes.
So it's so easy, for it to happen, that when we're not sort of, we don't have that discipline or that consistency, which I think is very important, isn't it, for the successing, for sure. And just
being accountable. So having an accountability partner, or being involved in a group, like a coaching group or something like that, where the women and the men, you're accountable, and you check in with each other maybe twice a week.
Yeah.
And I find that being accountable, you do the work.
Yeah.
Do it. And the more you do it, even if you don't like doing it at the beginning, it grows, it becomes addictive.
Yeah.
And then you can do it, and not all day. You don't need to be on your phone or Facebook or anything. If it's full time, you should be working on your phone and computer all day, because it's your job.
Yeah.
But if you are doing it part time, maybe early in the morning you do your posts. You can schedule them. There's apps you can use to schedule and programs to schedule your posts, or you can do it in Facebook. If you've got a group, you can schedule your posts, and check in at lunchtime for 5 minutes, not longer. Just check if there's anything that you need to answer that's important. And then maybe after the kids have gone to bed at night, or when you're sitting in front of the TV, you can just check and maybe work for half an hour and make some friends, connect with old people, your old friends, and also support other people, because this supporting other women and other business people by liking and commenting on their posts. So you should pick about 5 groups that you really want to get involved with, 5 to 10 at the most, and then make sure that you engage with those groups at least 3 times a week. But
I totally agree. I think there's a lot of thing to be said there about the reciprocity. If we're giving into groups, giving value without expectation, and where our message lands with people, they will follow anyway. They will come and seek us out. I think I just believe there's an abundance of clients who's all to serve and all to help. So it's very important for me to to know that people are in groups the right reasons, and I do the same thing. Give value and share content, and I think it does pay off. But it's the consistency. So thanks for sharing that.
So I'm not quite sure how long ago I started doing it, but when I wake up every morning, and I wake up early at like 4 or 5, if I sleep till 5, I'm like, whoa, I slept in, yay. I will, first thing I do is go and do my motivational post or inspirational posts for my pages and my groups that I'm managing that are mine.
Yeah.
And when I wake up, you know, maybe a thought comes to my head or what I want to post about that day. Sometimes I already know what I'm going to post about. Sometimes I just use a picture from one of the apps. Sometimes I use myself, and you do it. And there are other apps apart from what I'm sending on the PDF that I use apps on my phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I sit in bed and I can within say half an hour I've done all my posts for all my pages and groups, and the reward you get is not financial. It hits a key and it hits a point, and somebody needs that inspiration or that motivational post that day.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
you will find it happens all the time. Somebody will say to you, I needed that today. And I think that's my greatest reward, is knowing that you're helping to inspire people to get up out of bed every day and keep going. Because
Yeah.
what else can we? I mean, we'd love to sometimes stay in bed all day,
Yeah.
but we can't.
No,
So,
that's right. That's right.
uh,
And I think it would get pretty boring if you did it every day. Some people say that that's what they'd like to do, but I think realistically, there's a lot more to life than just, you know, being at the beach all day or doing. I think when you connect with, you know, why you're truly here, what your journey is or your path, if you like, then life does take on a different meaning, really. And work doesn't become work. Work just becomes a day, you know,
yeah.
where you get up and you enjoy choosing how you spend your time.
You're so right, because I got caught out with the COVID, because I have a bricks and mortar business, and during COVID it collapsed, and I didn't ask for the government job keeper,
Yeah.
and then when they called me and said, you know, you can get this, the lovely lady called me up and said, you know, you're eligible for this, and I was like, but I don't have employees. I just work on my own, and you know, it's just my business. She said, "But it's your job. you're the worker." And I was like, "Ooh, am I?" Because I don't look at my businesses as a job, because I love doing what I do. I just love inspiring and helping people have successes. I get so much joy when one of my ladies gets a customer, or you know, just suddenly gets it and starts posting or does a live, and you know that you've inspired her, or maybe forced her, challenged her, and I'm like blown away, and that's what I truly love doing. So the cycles, though, they're never ending, and you're going to go through those cycles all the time,
repeat all the time.
Mm.
So if you get it, like you say, I know we talked a little bit about the you know, whether you, when you get stuck, do you switch off? Do you like just unplug the machine and walk away? You know, do you call the mechanic? You know, whether that's your coach or your mentor, or tap into some inspirational music or podcast, or do you get out a toolkit? You know, I know we talked a little bit about that, but just specifically around that, let's focus on that question.
Yeah, so first I do, that's into my language. First thing I would do is I reach out to my own business coach, because she is, if she's not available, one of the girls from the coaching group will respond. So, but that's my first go-to, and she can, normally we'll do a quick Zoom, and then she'll just, you know, she'll tell me, switch off your computer, walk away, you're allowed to have time off, because that's another thing. We are really hard on ourselves, and we don't take time off, and if we do sit down to watch, I don't know, what's on during the day, Dr. Phil, I don't know, something like that. I don't do that, but I've got no TV. But you feel guilty that you should be working, but we're entitled to a lunch break. We're entitled, because we also don't work office hours. We work all the time.
Yeah, that's
So
so true.
you've got to be able to walk away
I know,
and
I always laugh because sometimes people say to me, "Oh, it's a holiday on Monday." I say, "Is it?" Like when you work for yourself, I think it's just another day for me. It doesn't matter whether it's a public holiday or not. You know, I say, oh, okay, maybe I should think about doing something different then. So I'll give myself permission to have a day off. But I very rarely know when these things are happening. You know, so it's
yeah,
always a new.
I don't find out. I find out from the mums at the school where my
Mm.
granddaughters go, because they'll tell me there's no school, and I'm like, what? What's happening? Yeah, but I had something I was going to say about that. Yeah, so I would call Lucia my business coach. The next thing I do is I put on, I love Trent Shelton. He's a young American dude.
Yeah.
And he's young. I only met him. I went on a training with Eric Worre last year or the year before. I can't remember. And he did he had a section where he spoke.
Okay.
And just for 20 minutes or 30, way too short, because he blew my mind. He was this young African American man with the wisdom that you can't believe. Every word that comes out of his mouth is just wisdom.
That's gorgeous.
And encouragement and motivation. And so I started following him. So I listen to him every day, because every day he does something while we're sleeping, but I'll watch the replay. And sometimes I listen to it over and over again when I'm in the shower. And I put on music. I love to dance. So I've got motivational music saved on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I'll put that on, because you can't sit still and stay in your funk if you got or music. I call it my motivational music. So I do that. Sometimes I just close the computer, switch everything off, turn my phone off, and sit and watch Netflix or something.
Yeah.
So it just depends. But then the next day you wake up and you carry on, because that's what keeps me going. So my washing machine is never off, because I know that even if I have a bad day or a bad afternoon where I'm exhausted and maybe a bit overworked and overwhelmed, I know that the next day I can start again.
Start again on the cycle.
Start again, and just feel the moment, and then start again.
So do you have a favorite cycle?
You know what? I think my favorite cycle is the beginning, because you're so excited and you just think you're going to get rich, and you're so naive. You know, you're so naive. So every Monday you start all over again, and you've got all those new friends that you've worked on making during the week that haven't heard about what you do, or you know, what drink you drink, or what all the things that everybody does. Yeah. Coaching, servicing, they don't know what you really do. And so it's your opportunity every Monday to
connect with them and build
to the world, not in a salesy way, in a just hinting at what you do, just a picture, saying this drink is awesome, or I love this shade of makeup, oh look at my, I do these stupid little videos with my eyelashes.
They're stunning.
They're the easiest thing to do of the videos. It's so silly, but it gets the interest. Yeah.
And I think that's it. It's really having that good hook, or that, visual imagery, or a good hook, as in text writing, that sort of thing that really gets, because you only have, what is it? I don't know if it's the same these days. Is it 3 to 5 seconds to grab someone's attention? Otherwise they've scrolled past.
So the reels that you need to do on TikTok and Instagram, if you have 7 seconds, if it's longer than that, you've lost out.
Yeah.
So it's 7 seconds, because people are scrolling, so they've got to come back. And I've found, and this is just a little tip for everybody, it might not be your color, but when I do yellow posts, like yellow background, yellow, I get a lot of interaction. In those. I have noticed that. So it's because it's bright and happy and sunshine.
Yeah, I'm curious now because I don't know whether you saw on Monday night in the Inner Strength group, we did an interview with Angela Burchart, and she was talking about color therapy.
Mm.
So that might be interesting, to ask her the question, what does yellow actually mean, and perhaps there is something.
I can tell if you want.
Oh,
I've got a little book here that tells you about colours. Yellow. I'll have to put my glasses on if they can fit with my lashes. Yellow is the colour of the intellect and is used for mental stimulation.
Well, there you go.
Can fuel the brain and assist you to think quickly and clearly. Yellow is excellent for decision making, boosting memory, self-expression and creativity, and there's a whole lot more. So it does all of that.
The stimulating, boosting memory, that's why it's obviously catching. So that's good. That's a good trick really. Or I suppose that would be a handy, useful thing to do, is look into the colours before you pick them for your brands and things like that.
Yes, so I did a business course where they spoke about all the colours. And it's good to have, maybe, because you want to reach everybody, not just those people. So you need to use all the colors. But my branding for my bricks and mortar company is pink, and I love pink. But I suggest to everybody, play around with your posts when you use the apps that I'm going to email to you. Try different colors and just see what works. But I definitely found the yellow ones seem to get the most.
Yep.
I still do the other colors, and still you can't tell what brand I am. I like all colorful. I love colors. But just see which ones, and then check what time you get the best. So the mechanic can come out at 6 p.m. at night. You might get the best results at 6 p.m.
Yeah, that's true.
The mechanic might come at 8 o'clock in the morning. You might get the best results. So you need to post morning, noon, morning, after, like midday, and evening at different times.
Yeah, and actually look at the results as well. I think it's okay posting, but you have to look at the metrics, don't you? The behind it, the analytics.
Yeah, so for a week, and then you can look at the insights, and you can see 7 people saw it at 8 o'clock, but at 6 o'clock 25 people saw it.
Yeah.
So and then you can take an average and say, wow, at 6 o'clock maybe that's when I should be posting.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome.
So that's just a little tip that came out of the washing machine, up the drain.
So do you have any other tips or nuggets of wisdom you'd like to share in this live?
Oh my goodness, I have so much to share. We could be here all night. Let me just think about. No, what I would like to just tell everybody is whether you've been in business forever, like a long time, whether you have been just started, and normally you've just started your own little home business, or maybe joined a multi-level marketing or direct sales company. You get coaching in those companies. They do what they do. But don't be afraid to get advice from other people that are not going to necessarily try and change you to whatever they're selling. They're just going to coach you and give you the advice that's going to help you succeed. And that's the type of person you need. Everybody needs a coach. I'm sure you've got a coach. I've got a coach. We're having a 2-week break, so I'm like, we had a call yesterday because, I just needed to clarify some stuff with her. So, we all need a coach. You got a health coach, you got a gym coach, everybody's got a coach that coaches you somehow, but you definitely need a coach because your companies can tell you need to make a list of 100 people, and you that's just straight away you put off and you give up right there and then. So we help you build your business, and we show you how to do it the right way, not just the hard way.
I do agree with you. It's so important to have solid foundations, and I think a lot of people and you're right, it's getting yourself in the right, what I call the fertile environment for learning. you know,
Mm.
whether that's a support group with accountability buddies is important, a mentor or coach of some description.
Yes.
And don't be afraid to shop around, because all mentors are very different.
Mm.
You know, they have different experiences and they're not for everybody.
No.
You know what I mean? Like a mentor for me may not be the same as a mentor for you, you know, and I think that's beautiful because there's the right match of people, you know, they just find each other, you know. And again, I think sometimes if you feel that you outgrow a mentor, then there'll be another one around the corner for you as well. You know, it's very, I don't know, I'm just a great believer in that. It's not, you know, not getting so stuck, because I think what I observe at the beginning is some people get so fixated they just want to do, you know, one thing, but it ends up, in my experience, limiting their scope and their view, you know. So it's really about taking those blinkers off, isn't it, so we can see all of the pathways. And yes, we might be wanting this outcome over here that we're striving and working towards, but there are many routes to get there.
Many. And also a lot of people are scared to add people into their groups or pages that maybe sell the same product, have the same service. But you know what, like you just said, I could join a group that somebody else runs and they might like me more than that person, or like you more than that person. The important thing is they're going to find the person that they gel with, and you've got to be able to gel with somebody, otherwise it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I liken it to, you know, I've had lots of jobs and I've had lots of careers, and I was talking to somebody, funnily enough, yesterday. If I had stayed in the one job like they used to do back in the day, they only knew that job, they only knew that company's system, and they didn't grow, they didn't develop. They were kind of stuck in that cycle, and they didn't learn, they didn't grow. They might have done their job really well, but they weren't used to changes. So if a change happened, they would really break down, you know, not be able to cope.
Yeah.
I had a lot of jobs, a lot of different types of jobs, and I'm so grateful, because I learned a lot. I learned a lot of different systems. I learned how to deal with change easily.
Yeah.
And I learned the value of worth, because I was sought after and headhunted. And there's nothing better than building your ego when people are headhunting you. You know, you got, back in the day, jobs were really, you know, but if you just stay doing one thing, you're not going to grow. So everybody needs personal development. And there's a lot of free courses out there. You don't need to pay. You don't need lots of money. You can, a lot of the coaches, everybody offers free coaching just to get you going.
Yeah.
Advice, be in the groups, watch all the lives. You get so many tips on a live broadcast like this. So what you're doing is awesome, because you're helping everybody grow and learn and have fun. You know, that's my word for the year, is fun.
Yeah. So, and that's so true. I think it's providing that environment where people have the opportunity to learn. And I agree with you to a large extent that we do all need, you know, personal development or growth. You know, it's one of the needs of the spirit, you know, is growth and contribution. And yet some people just either don't realize it, don't see it, aren't ready for it. And that's where I think sometimes we have to meet people where they are, you know, and realize that perhaps it's not their journey, you know, because there are certain people that are happy to stay in that 9-to-5 job and collect the silver watch at, you know, after 30 years service, you know what I mean? And I suppose an element of, you know, larger business, you know, we need that stability and that security of the people like that are happy. They just want to come in, switch off, do their job, get the paycheck, go home. And that's life. I mean, it's a shame because you know, like yourself, you know, I'm a big believer in, you know, wanting to share my message around generational wealth, and everyone can live free, away from the shackles of society and, you know, that social conditioning that we've all been conditioned into, through tribal upbringing. And yet, the people that want to hear the message will come and will follow, and others will stay where they are. And that's fine. Everyone's on their own journey,
Exactly. And the thing, I mean, I'm sure you've got family members. I've got family members who've got careers, jobs. And I don't know what they think about me, But yes, but my dad was a businessman and he had his own business. So I think I learnt my entrepreneurial skills from
watching,
father, even though he didn't teach me,
Yeah, but you'll have been observing what he did. We learn a lot. When we're children, we pick up so many things from our parents, and I think that yes, I do have a lot of family that are in jobs. I mean, for me, job is just over broke. You never get out of the crud, right, of that cycle. And again, my family I think, well, okay, she's off on a soapbox again, and that's fine. I don't. It's water off a duck's back now after all these years. But having said that, you can still. I truly believe. Part of my Awakening Wealth programs is around. You can still have it if you choose to have a career. You can still have a career and rewrite your money story.
Yes.
Because it's the money story of how you spend the money, not necessarily where the money comes from. You know what I mean? You can still have that choice to invest it differently or to spend money on, it's redirect the spending, you know what I mean? So rather than it going down the toilet, it's building something.
Yeah.
So I think all of those things, it really comes down to a lot of I guess personal choice, and and I think sometimes we have significant events in life. You've had many, I've had many, and I think sometimes that's such a blessing, that we start to think and do differently, and see, wow, there's a different world out there if I choose to just walk the path.
Yes, and I think the best for me is helping. When I was in corporate and I was a senior cost specialist in the mining industry, I was earning a fortune, but the thing is, I didn't feel like I was doing anybody any good. I mean, doing numbers,
Tell me about it.
Who benefits? It was just like, it's
the shareholders, the stakeholders.
Yeah, the money was good, the hours and the stress were long, and the politics were horrendous. So at the end of the day, you got to step out of that. I mean, I was stepped out because I was demobilized, but that also another door opens. How you make your own,
right.
You make your own path. So
definitely.
A lot of people say that they get to lose their jobs and it's really bad, but it turns out in the end that there was something better for them, whether it's another job or an opportunity.
That's right. I totally agree. Yeah.
So I like to try and be positive most of the time. I like to be positive all the time, but sometimes you can't be, and that's real.
Yeah.
Real. And just get up and keep going. I mean, I had a actually really bad thing happen early, 3 o'clock, and I just thought, how am I going to do I've got to be in the right frame of mind. And I just came in and I put on some Top Gear.
Yeah.
Because I love those guys and they make me laugh.
Yeah.
I just put that on. I thought, what can I watch that's going to lift me up and make me laugh out loud? And that's what I did. I put on Jeremy and the gang.
Yeah.
And within 2 minutes, I was laughing out loud and forgotten everything. And then I put on my lashes and my makeup. And then it's another thing. Ladies working at home and gents. Gents, don't put your makeup on if you don't want to. Get up every morning, shower, get dressed well, and put makeup on. I know not everybody wants to wear makeup, But then you're ready as if you're going to the office. If you don't wear makeup to the office, then obviously don't do that.
Yeah.
But I found after COVID, I went through a stage where I wasn't wearing makeup. I wasn't really getting up. I was getting up, but I was not getting dressed properly.
Yeah.
And my granddaughter actually said to me, Granny, put makeup on. And I started. And the next day she said, what makeup are you going to wear today? And literally, I've been doing it for a year now, every day. And what a difference it makes to your whole...
Just your whole sense of being.
Energy. And it just... And also, if you're not dressed up and suddenly you get called to an appointment or a meeting or go for a coffee, you're not inclined to go because you feel like you don't want to get dressed by then, because if you're dressed and you're ready, you're going to go out and be social. And you're going to get that order and you're going to impress people. So I just encourage everybody. There's a 5-second rule for getting up. There's a video on YouTube about it. When you lie, if you are depressed and you just can't face another day, count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and jump out of bed and get in the shower. You just have to do that a few days and you find it works. It just snaps your brain out of that funk that you're in. And
is that Mel Robbins? Like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Similar thing. Yeah.
And I watched that during COVID, and I was like, whoa! And I thought, I'm going to try that. You feel like getting up, and it worked.
I have to be honest, sometimes I've got pajama bottoms on and still a top, you know what I mean, for the Zoom work, but but you're right, I should make more of an effort to always get dressed. I don't do it every day, but I perhaps should do that more.
Look, the thought came to me yesterday and today, just wear your tracksuit pants, but you do still feel better.
Yeah.
You've got, I've got denims on today.
Yeah.
And I put on the earrings. I put on this today. I don't always wear makeup. I do lives without. I did one this morning live. But, it just makes you feel more professional. And even if you're sitting on your phone working and doing your connections and your communications and conversations with people, I don't know, it just makes you feel better. And you can do some selfies.
Yeah, that's true. Take shots of when you're out doing things.
Shots when you dress nicely, and everybody knows how to pose.
Yeah.
And chin out, and save them to do some, because you are your brand. That's another tip. No matter what you're selling, you are your brand, because I can buy a product from this person or that person or that person, but I might just like that person, so I'm not buying the product, I'm buying from her. So I have a few products that I buy from other people that are multi-level marketing, and I'm friends with that one, and now I've got a few friends in each, but I'm loyal to the one in each of the products, but you buy from the person you like, trust, and know.
Absolutely.
So you're your brand. So how is your brand going to look? So, and have fun, ladies and gents. There's ladies here. Just have fun. I mean, life is fun. Have fun. I've got this up here now. Like I do silly things like this. Put that on. Have some fun.
Yeah, I've got my little tiara on. Well, you can see it.
I noticed your tiara. It's beautiful. I'll be a hippie soon as I got done. But have fun, because people love to laugh. You can.
I'm big on that. I always have some different headwear on or something. I agree with you. Life's too short, to take ourselves too seriously. So
So I guess that's mine. But my best part is the beginning. So every Monday start again. Every day actually is a new day. So I love the rinse cycle, starting all over again. So every day start fresh, start all over, and you'll find you get into a way of doing things, and you can pull yourself out. It takes a while, it takes a bit of work,
and the consistency of it all.
You can do it. What's your favorite cycle?
I think the wash in some ways, all those moving parts together, you know, but I take your point. I think there's an excitement, surely, of the beginning, you know, the rinse of going through things. But for me, I think it's the wash when I get all the cogs working and the whole thing is actually doing what it should be doing. You know, the wash is washing, the clothes are getting clean, all that. The email responders talking to the, you know what I mean, all the backside systems, everything's crunching around and the membership's doing and money's coming in because people are buying things and everything's just working, you know, seamlessly. That would be my favorite cycle. But yes, often the wheel drops off or there's too much soap powder in there or whatever's happening. So you have to, you know, course correct as you go. Yeah.
Well, don't tell anybody. Last night I put sard in the conditioning. Don't tell anybody. And then I was like, oh,
wrong one. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Lee. It's been a pleasure talking with you. So many tips. I'm sure lots of people who are watching the replay, and if you are watching the replay, I hope you've hashtagged replay all the way through here and load us with your questions. Tag Lee and I in them, and we'll certainly answer them for you. And if we don't have the answer, we'll find a speaker that does.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then
Lee has some beautiful gifts to give away. So again, look under the post. She'll post links to the PDFs and things that she has for you. And I trust you enjoy them. And again, come back and comment on them. Tell us what you liked. Any questions you'd like to go over. I'm sure Lee could come back and answer them for you as well.
Yeah. So the few I've given 5 programs and apps on that PDF, but I use them all the time. So if you need help implementing them, sure, I can come and do a little bit. If you want to know how to do TikTok or anything, I love.
I'm curious about TikTok. I think I could have so much fun on that actually.
Oh that's where you see the real cray come on.
Yeah, and I know we've just got Jai joining us as well. Jai's one of my VAs, and he's a beautiful guy from the Philippines. And I know he loves TikTok too, because I've seen him do some great TikTok. So I'll have to get some lessons from both of you and get into that world.
You know, I started with one. I was sitting on my couch during COVID, and I put on some silly music, I don't know, and all I did was sat there and nodded my head, and I had like people liking it, and then I was like, what on earth? So you can just start with that, just sit there, put music on and wiggle your head. You'll be good.
Yeah, he says he's TikTok famous, so we'll have to go and follow him.
Yeah, it'll be good.
All right.
I think I'm Lee Hancock 5 or something, I'm not sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lee. We'll wrap it up there, and I'll look forward to connecting again with you soon.
Yeah, thanks. That was awesome.
All right.
Hope we haven't confused everybody more by all the chatter I was giving you, but
no, I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, absolutely. People will come back and ask questions that they need to.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Lee.
Lovely meeting you all.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye now.
Bye.